Candyman is a 2021 supernatural slasher film directed by Nia DaCosta and written by Jordan Peele, Rosenfeld, and DaCosta. The film is a direct sequel to the 1992 film of the same name and the fourth film in the Candyman film series, based on the short story, The Forbidden, by Clive Barker. The film stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Teyonah Parris, Nathan Stewart-Jarrett, Colman Domingo, and Kyle Kaminsky. Vanessa Williams, Virginia Madsen, and Tony Todd also reprise their roles from the original film. Candyman was theatrically released in the United States on August 27, 2021, by Universal Pictures. Its release date was delayed 3 times from an original June 2020 date due to concerns regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. The film received generally positive reviews from critics, who praised DaCosta's direction, visual style, and the blend of social commentary with horror. It has grossed $77 million worldwide against a $25 million budget. In 1977, at the Cabrini-Green housing projects in Chicago, a young boy comes face-to-face with a man known as Sherman Fields, who is known for giving kids candy and wields a hook for a hand. Later on, Fields is accused of putting a razor blade in a piece of candy that ended up in the hands of a white girl and is tracked down by police, who viciously beats him. Over 40 years later, visual artist Anthony McCoy lives in Chicago with his girlfriend, art gallery director Brianna Cartwright. Looking for a creative spark, Anthony goes to Cabrini-Green projects after hearing the legend of Helen Lyle from the original movie by Brianna's brother, Troy. Troy tells a misconstrued version of the events, claiming Helen kidnapped a baby and went on a killing spree before immolating herself. Anthony meets laundromat owner William Burke, who introduces him to the story of the Candyman, and how he's the young boy from the opening who witnessed Sherman Fields being beaten to death by policemen. Although Sherman was posthumously exonerated, Burke implies that if somebody says Candyman 5 times to a mirror, Sherman's spirit will appear and kill the summoner. Inspired by what Burke has told him, Anthony makes an elaborate art piece based on the Candyman legend titled Say My Name, to display at Brianna's and her co-worker Clive Barker's art exhibit. However, the piece is mostly ignored by the public and disparaged by art critic Finlay Stevens, enraging Anthony, who drunkenly storms off from the exhibit. Later that night, Clive and his girlfriend Jerica are brutally murdered by the Candyman, who was summoned by the latter. All the while Anthony starts compulsively painting gruesome portraits of unknown people. Anthony becomes more obsessed with the Candyman, much to Brianna's chagrin, who is reminded of her own father, an obsessive artist who committed suicide when she was a child. After Anthony has 2 encounters with Sherman's ghost while investigating Helen Lyle's Candyman research, and learns that Finlay was murdered after summoning the Candyman at Anthony's behest when he visited her, he confronts Burke and learns that the legend originated in the 1890s with Daniel Robitaille. An artist who was mutilated and lynched for having an interracial affair with his client's daughter, and since then, the legend has been renewed for generations with the souls of other murdered black men becoming part of the Candyman hive, and who are also the subjects of Anthony's paintings. As the legend continues spreading, a group of schoolgirls summon the Candyman and are subsequently killed. Anthony begins to undergo a physical transformation, stemming from a bee sting he received on his hand before meeting Burke, which starts spreading across his entire body. He goes to a hospital where he learns that his mother Anne-Marie lied about where he was born, and when he confronts her, she reluctantly reveals that he was the baby rescued from the bonfire the night Helen died, and that Candyman had been responsible for the spree she was blamed for. Anne had planned to sacrifice him as well. The community had vowed never to repeat the Candyman's legend after that night. Anthony leaves resigned to his fate and wanders through the Cabrini-Green row houses. Worried about Anthony, Brianna goes to Burke's laundromat at Cabrini-Green, where she is kidnapped by him and takes her to an abandoned church where Anthony is in a fugue state. Burke reveals that he not only witnessed Sherman's death, but also his spirit return as the Candyman, who killed his older sister and her friend after being summoned. Burke plans to have the police gun Anthony down to reclaim the Candyman legend as an instrument of vengeance, rather than a symbol of suffering. He then saws off Anthony's hand and replaces it with a hook to complete his transformation, before chasing Brianna into the row houses where she kills him with a pen. Anthony appears and collapses in her arms. As police arrive, they shoot Anthony dead. As the police detains and attempts to intimidate Brianna into agreeing that Anthony provoked them, she summons Candyman through a rearview mirror, who appears in Anthony's guise, and massacres the police. Anthony is shown in a gated alley, killing the last surviving corrupt cop, and approaches Brianna with a mass of bees, swarming his upper torso. His face transforms to that of Daniel Robitaille, revealed to have been taking the forms of Sherman and Anthony due to their tragic ends, and gives one simple instruction for Brianna to tell everyone about what she had just witnessed.